Hey guys, it's me, EOD Gaming here. In this video, I want to talk to you about omens. What do they do? What are they worth? And how do you farm more of them? But in this video, I don't just want to yap over their descriptions. I actually have prepared some of them. I want to go ahead and buy as many as I can buy so that I can test it out in this video for you. And we're going to go one by one in each of them. But let's start things first with the easiest question to answer. How do you get this? How do you farm more of it so that you can sell? You can obviously buy some from the currency exchange once you completed your Act 3 cruel. But for those of you who want to get this a little bit earlier or farm this so you can sell it on the market, because some of them are worth quite a lot of money, as I know because I spent and bought a lot of them. But you can do it from rituals. When you complete the ritual, you can convert it in tribute points once you talk to the tree, or perhaps you can get it as a lucky drop as well. I'm told that there are some guaranteed drops in some of the story Act 2 bosses or something like that. But anyways, it's been a while since I was in Act 2 normal. So in this video, let's go things systematically, shall we? We'll go one by one, starting from the top left, and then we'll go all the way down to the last one over here. Let's start first things first off with Sinistral Alchemy. This one is when the item is active in your next Orb of Alchemy will result in maximum number of prefix modifiers. Now they are back to back, Dextral as well as Sinistral. One gives max number of prefix, one gives max number of suffix. I have prepared exactly the same item so that we are able to see the exact difference. Now, how do you activate an omen? Right click them. So if I want to turn it off, right click again, right click here. You can right click both at the same time, so you can have like a double, both in one. But of course, we want to do it one by one so we can see exactly what it does. So now, right click here on a lunar amulet, and this is what I'll get if I use the maximum number of prefix and it unlocks. So what is maximum number of prefix? If you hold down the Alt button, or whether you're playing on console or like MacBook and stuff like that, it's the inspect button. But basically you can see here prefix, blank, blank, suffix. These blanks basically are the same as whatever is above. So the line that differentiates suffix as well as prefix is below evasion rating. So Dex is the only suffix, and you have 3 prefixes here, which is max mana, armor, as well as evasion rating. These are your prefixes. We will have more guides out on the channel to teach you more about what is prefix, what is suffix, once we have more research into the different items, because there's many different combinations of stuff. Stay tuned to the channel if you're interested in that. Omens are very, very critical in crafting as well. So they can help you determine a lot of things, especially the more powerful, more expensive ones can really help you customize your gear, which is why you don't want to corrupt stuff unnecessarily. But early on, I guess it's fine. Later game, you don't want to do that unless you are 100% sure that's the perfect piece. So this is for the first one, which is Sinistral Alchemy. Next, we have Dextral Alchemy, which on the flip side, it gives you suffix modifiers. So what we are expecting it to look like is instead of 3 lines of prefix, we will just have 1 line of prefix and perhaps 3 lines of suffix now. So prefix, suffix, blank, blank. That's what it should look like. Let's test that theory out on this exactly the same lunar amulet. So right click here. Exactly what we thought. Prefix, suffix, blank, blank. So 3 suffixes, 1 prefix on the top, maximum amount of suffix that we can get. I believe if you use both of them together, you use one alchemy orb, you can get 6 liner immediately. So that is how you can open everything to check if you're really, really gung-ho about it. But these are not cheap also. They are currently going for like 9 exalted, and I believe this one is like 2 exalted for suffixes and stuff. So total, if you want to do like 1 roll, it will cost you about 9 exalted plus the Orb of Alchemy, which is about 10 exalted, just to do this test that we have done so far. And let's go on to the next test, which is Sinistral Coronation. So this, on the other hand, it adds in prefix modifiers, but only just 1 line because it's a Regal Orb. So I can right click the Regal Orb, and you can see this item over here, which I have a prefix of increased damage with war cries. Suffix minions have 11% additional blah blah blah. If I do the Regal Orb and I activate this omen, it should add a line directly under damage with war cries. So let's go ahead and test it out. So I'll tap the Regal Orb, and then I'll tap this jewel over here, and boom, global physical damage. As you can see, it came right underneath the damage with war cry. That is quite interesting though. One important thing to notice is that notice on the right hand side of the stuff, the tiers that you get doesn't mean you use the omens, you get the maximum tier for the suffix or the prefix. As you can see, it's still very random, like T5, T2, T5. It might not be the best one. You have like T7 here, T4, T5, T8, which basically determines how high the rolls are. The higher the T, meaning that the higher the rolls are. So that is something that it doesn't determine, it doesn't prefix. You still have a bit of RNG in terms of a low roll or a high roll and stuff like that. in terms of the RNG. So that is for Omen of Sinistral Coronation. Let's talk about the next one, which is Omen of Dextral Coronation. This one is probably going to be very straightforward. It will add in a line under stun build-up because this is the suffix. Let's right click here and then we're going to just slap it on this Armored Ruby of Stunning. And you can see, true enough, it was directly below the stun build-up. So it goes into the directly below the suffix increased chance to ignite. Again, this information is very, very nice, very useful to do. But more importantly, we need to know exactly what is the effects of the suffix and prefix, which we will do more research and put it out to you once it's available. But I hope this guide so far is helpful. If you're finding it useful so far, like, subscribe, comment as well if you find it useful. Because the next one, this is a big one that I spent. Omen of Corruption costs us half a Divine Orb, more or less, right now. It converts one Divine Orb into 2. So I'm going to be testing a 41 Exalted Orb here, modifies an item unpredictably and corrupts it. And a lot of you guys are saying always like Vaal or no balls, right? So I have here a very, very nice bow, which is my main weapon. This gives me a lot of damage increase. And I'm going to be actually Vaal of no ballsing this expert composite bow, because some of you might be planning to corrupt your weapon. And this, let me just showcase what it does. So I right click the Vaal Orb. And okay, let's just see the damage increase, whether it's a decrease or increase, right? So currently I'm at 20549 on basic attacks. And then now that we have used this, 20549, I believe I have to unequip it in order to corrupt it. So right click, corrupt, and okay, at first glance, don't think it has changed. 20549. So that's like, is it damage decrease? Yeah, so it was a damage decrease. Okay, wait. It opened one additional socket. That's what it did. This is also my first time seeing what it does. So it opened one additional socket, which means I believe it gives you a higher chance of something happening, not nothing. Of course, if you guys have used it as well, leave a comment below. This is something that we need more data on because every single sample size costs us half a divine. So it's really expensive. But it's nice now that I managed to get this extra line over here. It didn't seem to remove anything critical to begin with because I still have my increased physical damage. I still have my additional damage here. So it's very, very nice. And I can go ahead to my stash, take out an iron rune, slap on it one more rune sword here. And my damage should have increased to, let's see, yeah. So I think it's an overall increase overall. It's quite nice. The damage, physical damage went up. Now it's like 200 to 351, which is super, super high. But if you guys want to test it out yourself on your gear, you can also purchase one. It's 41 Exalted. It just makes it more unpredictable when corrupting the stuff, which is, at least it gives you some value rather than you corrupt your bow and it gives you nothing at all. At least it makes something happen for better or for worse. So next one is, of course, you have the stuff like Omen Refreshments, Omen Resurgence, Omen Ameliorations. I won't waste your time by going to test and dying and then let it proc to have more life, more mana, more energy shield, more charm charges, flash charges, and even experience loss. I think is pretty experimentary, so I won't waste your time. I like to have my videos like straight to a point to give you guys exactly what you need. But if you guys want, you can test it out yourself too. So next up, of course, Omen of Sinistral Exaltation. This one here, Exalted Orb only adds in prefix modifiers. So you can see I have prefix, a blank suffix. This one should add in another line into the prefix line. So I should have like 3 prefix lines and we will go ahead and test. So right click, and bam. So as you can see, notice failed to identify item because jewels here can only have 2 prefixes and 1 suffix. So you can actually get an error message if it already has the maximum number of prefixes. Since we already know that this one already has the maximum prefix, can we do both together and then slap it in? Will it consume one or will it just reject us out completely? So that's an interesting test. For those of you who don't know, it's the same. One gives, the dextral gives suffix, the sinistral gives prefix. We know that the prefix one is going to get rejected. Let's see whether we can do both together for this one. Okay, so you can see combination of omens is not valid because one of them is false. So let's go here and like now switch them out. Since now we know that as long as one cannot, both won't activate. So that is a really, really nice thing to see. So we have 3 suffixes here on this pearl ring and we have only 1 prefix. So I'll assume that now I can actually input a prefix because it only has 1 line of prefix. So I'll go ahead, right click Sinistral Exaltation, right click Exalted, add in. You can see it does prompt you like your stuff has been consumed in your inventory. So now it has added in at the second line of this amount here, physical damage to attacks. And next up, let's do this one, which only had one suffix slot left. So it's kind of a waste to use this because you know that it's going to be guaranteed to a suffix slot already. It's much better to do things which have like 6 lines rather than jewels, in my opinion. But for the sake of demonstration, I'll just do it anyway. So right click this. You can right click this and put it on. It will go into the suffix line. Right now only has 1. You can see you have 2. So it has been consumed, but obviously it's kind of a waste because you already know it's going to get suffix because prefix doesn't work. Gain 1 rich on melee hit. So that is an example of how things work. This is not a money-making guide. I'll have money-making guides later on. This is just telling you the mechanics of how omens work so far. And next up, of course, we have the Orb of Annulment 1. This one, when this item, Greater Annulment, is active in your inventory, you will remove 2 modifiers. So previously, Orb of Annulment only removes a single modifier. With this, it removes 2. So if you want to do it faster, I guess, like remove more stuff. I'm not sure why you wouldn't just use Orb of Annulment twice. I'm still thinking about that. If any of you know why, let me know in the comments below. Orb of Annulment, 2 of them. So I have a jewel that is rare. And by right, when I remove 2, it should only have 1 line. Let's see whether it stays as a rare or whether it goes back down to a magic. That's quite interesting to see, excuse me. So right click, and then I'm going to just click this right now. And interestingly, so it removed 2 lines, but as you can see, it's still a rare. So I removed 2 with the Orb of Annulment, still a rare. And now, of course, I want to bring it on 1 more, and we're going to test the Omen of Greater Exaltation. This one, while this item is active in your inventory, the next Exalted Orb will add 2 more random modifiers. But before that, I want to say that there are still a few more omens which can't really be purchased viably for me. So as you can see, we touch on every single one of them except the few of the purple ones, which is Omen of Whittling, Omen of Sinistral Erasure, and stuff like that. But let's explain it first. This is very similar to what we've seen already. Remove lowest level modifier, which is the one that is the lowest tier. That's the thing that it is. It's very expensive. It's 1:515. I literally cannot buy this to test it out for us. So unfortunately, I'm poor. But I hope you guys appreciate the video so far. So this one removes the lowest level modifier. Lowest level meaning tier. When you go over the stuff, you have that tier 5, tier 6, tier 2, tier 5. As you can see, why this is so good is because it has a lot of control. If you have gears that is already looking really, really tasty, like really nice ones, you can actually determine which is the one that you're going to remove. So you can select the one that you're actually removing, which is why it's so expensive. The next one, of course, Sinistral Erasure. This one only removes prefix modifiers. Again, this is very strong because if you have this, you basically narrow down the stuff that you do not want. Sometimes in your gear, although it's corrupted, I'm just using this as an example. Let's say you have 3 and you really like the bottom 3 because there's like cold resistance, lightning resistance here, and I decide I'm going to just take out one of these 3. You can snipe it down with the Sinistral Erasure, which is super good. And likewise, Dextral Erasure is the opposite, where you find for suffixes. They are also very expensive. Although you see no stock here, they actually cost in Divine Orbs, 14 Divine Orbs for a Dextral Erasure, and as well as the other one, which is Sinistral Erasure. This is 9 Divine Orbs, very expensive that I can't afford it. And it makes it even more a point that you can go and farm these ones, which we talked about, which is Rituals. For any of you who forgot, you can farm these and make like so much Divine Orbs if you can get a lucky drop, of course. And of course, the last 2 is the Orb of Annulment. This is the exact same combo. Remove prefix, remove suffix here is the exact same thing. Orb of Annulment, instead of just randomly removing, it snipes down a certain one to remove. Chaos Orbs is you remove and you add in a new one. So slightly different purpose. And here you can see 1 out of 10 for the Sinistral Annulment. Personally, I think this is a lot better because with the Chaos Orb, unless you do it with like another combination of an Omen, you don't have much control, which means you have to do everything at once because you add and remove at the same time, so you need 2 omens to get a lot of control. Whereas for Sinistral Annulment and like Orb of Annulment, you get to remove first. When you save up enough money later on, you decide what you want to do. You can buy the omen, buy the orb, and then implant it later on. So you can like split up your cost. So Sinistral Annulment, that's the difference between the previous one, which is the Chaos one, which is your Sinistral Erasure. Slightly different. So that is for stuff that I didn't buy. Again, these are very expensive, so I hope you pardon me. 15 Divine Orbs, 10 Divine Orbs for each of them. I only have 6 in my inventory right now. But last one, of course, is Omen of Greater Exaltation. While this item is active in your inventory, next Exalted Orb will add 2 random modifiers. This is pretty much just adrenaline for your Exalted Orbs. Why wouldn't you just use 2 Exalted Orbs? I have no idea. They currently cost 1:1, which kind of makes sense. I guess it saves you button clicking, it saves your mouse depreciation of like the number of clicks you can get. So that's the only thing I can think of. But right click, and I'm going to add in these 2 lines on this jewel over here, and boom, it adds in 2 slots. Apparently totally random that it gives. And this is the end result of what I get. Honestly, it's kind of trash still. So I just wasted all my money in this video. But if you found this video helpful, insightful as well, do check out the other videos we have on our channel. Do like, comment, and subscribe for more such future content. And thank you guys so much for watching. See you in these next 2 videos.